We are at the yard, me and Jacob, getting an engine.
Yep.
So far, lots of 5.3s and no 6.0s. Pretty standard, I think, though.
I'm surprised.
Everything that would have had one looks like this.
Well, that probably did have one.
Jacob looks great. He had to cut his sleeves off so we could have these.
Yep.
Our state, man. Our state.
This makes such a big difference.
Our state and one other state are still doing that. That's it.
Well, that's because we're the most intelligent state, aren't we?
All right, let's see what we got here.
We don't have much.
Nothing.
How about a Vortec? Or what is it?
Here we are. We decided on this one. We'll see how it goes.
Yeah. Who knows? Only 270,000 miles on this one.
Yeah,
Perfect
low
for
mileage.
what we're doing. Good day for no sleeves.
Yeah, we just gotta, obviously this thing is here because it got smashed in the front, so we think maybe it still runs. We got this crap out of the way and we'll see if the engine turns.
All right, does it turn? Yeah.
Feels like it has compression still.
Feels like it might not be a total piece of crap.
We do even inspect like the block and make sure there's no rods sticking out, but it does turn.
All right, well, since the person had enough power to smash the front end of this, I've got my hopes high.
Yeah.
All right, let's do this.
That's probably far enough.
Oh yeah, I like that.
All right, we're all done. We got the motor heading home.
Yep.
So let's get out of here.
Get out of here.
There it is, got the motor back to my house. Ended up dropping Jacob off at home, but he's gonna come back over later. I am removing the rocker arms and push rods just so that all the valves will be closed when I'm pressure washing this engine. That's to deter water from going into the cylinders. If you're excited the V8 jet ski is getting a more powerful engine, make sure to drop a like on this video. That's just The push rods and rocker arms that I took out earlier, I'm going to put them back in. It's very quick and easy to do. The reason I'm doing that is because I want to take compression on this engine before I take the heads off and inspect and clean everything.
I'm back, boys. Jacob's back. I brought you something, Josh. I know how to do one of these. There we go.
So this thing right here, Jacob brought over, I guess. It's a blower. It's not a 671.
Well, it's actually an 8V71. Yeah. Not an 871, 8V71.
So it's a gigantic turd off of a what?
It's off of a Detroit diesel GMC dump truck. Come on. Nothing like putting a 60s blower on an early 2000s engine.
Yeah, we're not going to talk too much about it. That's...
Yeah, get that out of here.
Cover that up.
That's not for you to see. We got to do this together.
Oh, that is way heavier than I expected.
This thing is 80 pounds.
We spent the donation money you guys gave us, and we bought an engine.
That's right. Wasn't quite enough money for an LS7, but you know, it bought us this.
The goal was to get a 6-liter, and
what did we do? Even better. 5.3 liter!
Yeah!
Because all the 6 liters were gone. After we figured out there was no 6 liters, I think we just picked the first 5.3 that we saw that wasn't like a total piece of crap. And it happened to be the closest one to where you pay. So.
At this point, it apparently seems that we're going to be doing the stepping slowly up in betterness of engines.
Yep.
So 4.8 to 5.3.
We're going to have to go 6 liter next.
Yeah.
There's not one that's in between. Oh, we could get an LS1.
That's true.
That's an expensive engine though.
Yeah. So they were just dropping off a Cadillac at the yard when we were leaving. That probably had the engine we wanted. So
maybe we'll be back.
Maybe we'll be back in a week to get that. But we got to take the cam and heads off of the 4.8 and get them on the 5.3. I would like to compression test the 5.3, and that's what I was working on right before Jacob got here.
Yep,
and
exactly.
Hopefully we'll get some compression numbers, and we'll also probably get the heads off this thing today and see what we got inside.
A couple of junkyard rats, me and Josh, at this point.
I can't believe how heavy
this
is. My gosh. I thought those rotor blades were aluminum.
They are aluminum, I think.
What is it? The rest of it made out of gold?
I don't know. I didn't think those were that heavy either, but they sure make a statement. You know what this is? This is a statement maker.
It's a big blower, man.
Yeah. You know, these are really good for like big blocks, I think. And the 671 is probably generally better for, you know, big blocks, bigger small blocks. But this is a 4.8 with an 871, and you know what? It's not going to work as good. It'll run hot. Good. We want it that way. We want it to work worse.
Of course, Jacob was just kidding around about this blower and actually wanting it to be worse, but I think he was kind of serious in a way. Although we have zero plans to use this blower, realistically, there's no way that this will fit in the V8 JetSki, so don't get your hopes high. I ran into a little bit of a snag when I tried to compression check this new engine, and this is the starter that sank with the V8 JetSki. So logically it would have some issues, although the last time I used it, it still did work, and I had, you know, washed it out and cleaned it out. But it's just, at this point, more or less junk, and it doesn't work enough to take compression on this engine. Although, for what it's worth, I did hand crank it and get some compression, and yeah, it's not a very effective way to do that. I got a new starter, so now I can compression check the engine. All right, that was kind of an interesting experience. This side, 165, 160, 165, 170 was really nice across the board. And then we got over here, 100, 100, 175, 125. And I found a bolt in this one here. So when we took it apart, we left a bolt in there apparently. I wasn't thinking too much about it because I thought we're gonna take the heads off, so who cares? I'm just about to take the cylinder heads off, but I wanted to show you guys that Jason is actually in the garage today.
Hi guys, I'm still around. I'm just making a mess of your garage. Yep. Good, comfortable.
Now is the point where the heads come off, and we'll take a look and see what we have going on inside. Definitely got some water into these when I pressure washed it. Now, if I wasn't going to be tearing the engine down, I would have covered the intake and exhaust ports when I washed it, but since I knew I was tearing it down, I knew that I could clean it when we got to this point. Gonna do a visual inspection on the cylinders. And these two are the main concern, with them being a little bit lower on compression than the other ones. I don't see anything weird in the cylinders. They all have cross-etching in them. They all have a good cross-etching. So, I don't think I'm going to think too much of it.
No, it looks great. I'm used to looking at old two-stroke jet ski engines. This looks great.
It looks mint.
Like, yeah.
This ain't gonna run good.
This looks like a brand new two-stroke jet ski engine cylinder.
My guess is that these were a little bit down on compression due to something with the valves not sealing quite right. Certainly could have got some junk in there when I pressure washed them, or they could have been carboned up since this is quite a high mileage engine. The reason I'm not worried about it is because I'm going to be using the cylinder heads off of this engine and the camshaft out of this engine. Same cylinder heads. I mean, these are an 862. Those are 706, but it just means they were cast in a different plant, but they're the same head. At least that's the way I understand it. This ended up being just a $180 engine from Pick and Pull, so quite a bit cheaper than the other one, and this happens to be the larger 5.3 liters. So we're going to be gaining some horsepower with this, so I'm pretty excited about it, really. We had a really good time at the wrecking yard ripping this engine out of a truck.
Yeah, it was a good time. Just hack and slash. No worries about putting it back together. It's definitely not as bad taking that engine out of a car that nobody cares about. When it's your engine and your personal vehicle, you got to get it back together. That sucks. But yeah, getting a motor out of a wrecking yard is not as bad as I would have thought.
Yeah, it was really quite enjoyable, and we did kind of rip the whole front end off the truck, so that was pretty fun.
Yep, it was all screwed up anyway, so yeah. Do you guys think we should use the old 8V71? Tell me what you think is going on with this blower, and tell me what you think. I'll talk about this thing and the thing about this. I'll talk about this blower in a video coming up. So if you care about it, pay attention to upcoming videos.
When the next V8 jet ski video is available, it will be popping up on the screen here. If that's not available yet, you can always click on the V8 jet ski playlist popping up next to it, which will play all of the V8 jet ski videos in order if you want to catch up on the V8 jet ski videos.